The 10 o'clock news is next, right here on Fox Rochester.
Get ready to play your best golf ever at Dick's Sporting Goods Golf-a-thon. Save big during the biggest golf sale of the year. Plus, Dick's has all the hottest new equipment from the best names in golf, all going on now. Remember, every season starts at Dick's.
Looking for the right job? Knock on our door first.
Oh?
Your Workforce New York agency has everything you need to make your employment search easier, whether you're looking for your first job or a new career. We'll even help you write your resume. Plus, local businesses turn to us when they need professionals and skilled workers who are ready, willing, and able to work. Contact your local Workforce New York Center today.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the New York State Workforce Investment Board and the New York State Department of Labor.
I'm Melanie Barnes. Tonight, tragedy in Seneca Falls. 5 people, including an infant, perished in an early morning fire. And Democrats won't let this pass. They say an ad campaign is about more than the bus.
And I'm Morris Jones at News Central. Could a victory in the war on terrorism also become a major setback? And Victor gets to keep his secret.
Good evening, I'm Melanie Barnes. 5 people are dead and a small community stunned after an intense fire early this morning. It happened inside a Seneca Falls apartment complex. Reporter Dana Roselli begins our team coverage tonight with reaction from neighbors and those who knew the victims. Dana?
Well, Melanie, the fire started early this morning, but it was the talk of the town all day. Even though many didn't know the victims, their tragic deaths hit home.
It is the worst experience in my lifetime, to be honest with anyone.
Words repeated by almost every resident here at Tudor Village after an early morning fire ripped through 2 apartments, killing everyone inside.
You seen a gentleman hanging over the window is what you could see, and there's nothing you could do. It was just nothing.
A Seneca Falls police officer noticed the fire while on routine patrol this morning. Rita Bartz also saw flames and smoke.
I saw the fire guy go, try to get in, and heard somebody holler, get help.
But nobody made it out. John and Lori Adams and their infant daughter lived in one apartment. An elderly couple, Leo and Regina Prain, lived in another. Caroline Gilmore says Regina was known as Grandma Jean, a warm-hearted and well-liked person.
She was so sweet, and she definitely was caring. She'd always give somebody hugs.
Late this afternoon, the State Arson Bureau investigated inside, putting together the pieces, looking for a cause, leaving Tudor Village residents wondering what happened.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone in the world.
Now tonight, the police department issued a release saying the cause or the origin of the fire has not been determined yet. More details will be released tomorrow, and we'll keep you updated. Melanie?
All right, thank you, Dana. A fire like this takes a toll, both physically and emotionally, on emergency crews. Not only do they put out the flames, they have to deal with the devastating loss of 5 people in a small community. Kelly Badger takes a closer look.
Seneca Falls Police Chief Fred Capozzi has been on the job for 30 years. But his years of experience don't make seeing a tragedy like this any easier.
No, I've never seen, no matter if it was a fire or anything else, I've never seen a greater loss of life in our community, and it's unfortunate. And this has to be one of the toughest fires that I've seen in a long, long time.
A tough fire not only to see, but to fight as well.
A lot of ice buildup because of the fact that the water that's being used on the roadway. So I would say, and some of the wind did create a problem for the firefighters.
Capozzi says he checks on the firefighters' physical and mental wellness.
It's a very traumatic situation when you get involved with when there's been a loss of life, or even when there's a major injury to an individual. So we are trying to take care of not only the families, but taking care of our own also.
Firefighters are not the only ones to respond to a blaze like this. Volunteers from the Red Cross arrived at the same time, ready to help.
The first thing I do is check with the fire chief. That's who you look for, the guy in the white hat.
Karen Kelly has been looking for the guy in the white hat for 10 years now. She's a disaster team captain with the Red Cross.
Today our purpose has been mainly grief counseling with families of the victims. We've arranged for housing for one elderly couple. We've got another person who went to the hospital, so we'll be following up with them as far as housing. And we're feeding and refreshing the firemen.
Even though the fire is out, Kelly's job here is not done.
Something like this, the Red Cross help is going to go on for a long, long time.
Kelly Badger, the 10 o'clock news.
All of this is happening in Seneca County while people are still mourning another deadly fire. Eric Parsons is accused of setting a blaze 2 years ago that killed his wife and 4 children. Testimony in his trial is continuing this week. Still, the district attorney there doesn't think today's events will have any influence on the trial.
I don't believe it will, in that the jurors are under an obligation not to watch TV, not to read newspapers about, obviously, our case, but about any similar cases. And that's a standard instruction that's given to every jury.
Prosecutors say the trial should take another couple of weeks. James Comfort came face to face today with the people who will ultimately decide his fate. The Grease man is accused of raping and sexually assaulting several young women he met over the internet. Reporter Stephanie Sema was in the courtroom today, and she has the latest.
Attorneys for James Comfort wasted no time in trying to discredit alleged victims to the jury this afternoon.
Some of them delayed telling the police for 18, 19 months when they had opportunities to tell their parents. They didn't do that. They lied to their parents.
During opening statements, Perinello saturated the jury with the fact that there is no DNA, no medical reports, and no police reports to back up the prosecution's allegations.
I'm confident the jury will take the information and apply their common sense and use the law from the judge and render a fair verdict.
The defense told jurors they will show how the alleged victims gave inconsistent stories about Comfort and the crimes in question. At one point, he blamed media attention for one of the accusations.
There are a lot of, I believe, to be illogical things concerning the stories that they've told. And I don't know that the jurors are ever going to have enough evidence to convict him.
I can't imagine a situation where a teenage girl would want to get out in public and say something like this. So we'll ask the jury to consider the common sense approach to that.
Comfort's former landlord was the first witness to testify. He outlined the layout of Comfort's apartment where the prosecution alleges many of the crimes took place. Prosecutors will not say who will be called to the stand tomorrow. Stephanie Semo, the 10 o'clock news.
It took attorneys more than a week to seat jurors for this controversial case. Testimony continues tomorrow morning. A repeat drunk driver will spend the next 15 years in prison. James Reich was sentenced to the maximum for second-degree manslaughter. He admits drinking heavily before he caused a fiery crash in Brighton that killed an elderly couple last summer. In fact, he had been arrested for driving drunk just days before this fatal accident. In court, Reich apologized to the family of the victims. A former leader of the Women's Health Partnership has been given 2 to 6 years in prison for stealing from the organization. Bonnie Lewis admitted to taking $160,000 from the agency. She had been the program administrator since 1995. Well, it was a bit warmer today, but it looks like winter is about to make another big return. With our first look at the weather, here's meteorologist Megan Glaros.
Thanks a lot, Melanie. It certainly was warmer today. In fact, 33 degrees warmer than yesterday, made it to 41 degrees. Our overnight low still pretty chilly at 5 degrees. Now to the winter part. We're under a winter weather advisory for late this evening, lasting through the day tomorrow. Here's what to expect from this system. We're not talking just snow here, folks. A mixed bag of rain, freezing rain, snow, and possible icing on those roadways. We'll give you those details in the full forecast. Melanie, back to you.
Coming up, you've seen the ads. Are they selling more than a bus ride? Area Democrats say Republicans are taking voters on a ride.
The 10 o'clock news brought to you by Summit Federal Credit Union.
Jerry's girlfriend puts him on speed dial.
What, she's ranking you? Yeah, the speed dial's like a relationship barometer.
Tonight at 11 on Fox Rochester.
Let me guess, stuffed French toast down at IHOP.
Yeah, right now at IHOP, it's stuffed French toast. Luscious cream cheese on the inside, creamy whipped topping, and your choice of fruit on the outside. Served with all your favorite stuff right alongside. Stuffed French toast at IHOP. Everybody's packing in just to get a taste. IHOP, come hungry, leave happy.
Low, extra low payments at Webster Ford. 03 Focus LX Sedan, $159 per month. 03 Taurus LX, $209 per month. 03 Windstar, $279 per month. Folks, you need to hurry. Don't miss this. We offer you a great deal. At Webster Ford, we treat you like family.
I like steak and chicken. I like the melted cheese. Sizzling in the skillet. Get 'em at Applebee's.
Big skillets. He likes sauce and mushrooms. He likes them smothered, please. He wants skillet sensations. They're back at Applebee's.
Applebee's skillet sensations are back. Eating good in the neighborhood.
A battle in the skies. Prepare to be boarded. A rescue down below. If you leave us, we will be slaughtered. And a crew trapped in the middle.
They're closing on all sides.
Now one wrong move could deliver their death sentence. Star Trek Voyager.
Tonight at midnight on Fox Rochester.
Could Pakistan talking too soon slow down the war on terror? I'm Morris Jones. Here's the latest now from News Central. President Bush says Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was once al-Qaeda's top killer, and his weekend arrest leaves other terrorists with no place to hide. But did we miss a chance to make a lot of progress because of our so-called partners in Pakistan? News Central's Jennifer Gladstone is here to explain. Jennifer?
Morris, one thing we've learned since September 11th is that Pakistan does what's good for Pakistan, and leaking news of the arrest was just that, a feather in their cap. But according to some experts, their loose lips could make it a lot harder for us to rein in other terror suspects.
I read today that someone likened it to the man landing on the moon, so I gather that they're pretty excited.
Saturday's arrest of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 2 other suspected terrorists opened up a treasure trove of information. Through questioning, investigators hope to get a wealth of information from plans to names and addresses, aliases, even details of other terror networks. Some of the things found in his home are already helping the FBI and CIA track down even more suspected al-Qaeda operatives, some of whom are believed to be in Washington and other American cities. As good as that sounds, things may have been even better.
It would have been great had we been able to examine all the information we were able to receive from him and from his house and from the other 2 men arrested with him, and being able to act on that without the knowledge of the terrorists.
But the Pakistani government could not wait to tell the world about their big catch. And defense policy expert Danielle Pletka says you can be sure American officials are furious over the early leak.
If I had to guess, I would say that they have been more than taken aside, that there's probably been some screaming and yelling and a lot of, "We're very grateful, but in the future, could you not do this? Could you never do this again?"
So what's the harm? We still have the information, but while the sudden announcement was exciting to the American people, it also told every terrorist associated with Muhammad that we're getting close.
It's quite possible that people may panic and try and push something forward because they're worried he may talk.
Now a lot of these cell members have had times to either abort their missions or go deep underground, destroy their codes, and to break off all communications.
And the Pakistanis are apparently not only leaking details of the arrest, but they're also describing how they found Khalid Sheikh Mohammed through satellite telephone intercepts, saying who gave up his location and how we got to him.
People are going to pick up They're going to throw away their cell phones. They're going to get rid of the phone numbers they have. They're going to move from the apartments where they are. They may change some of their methods of communication. They'll obviously change location. They may change travel. They may shift from Plan A in terms of their terrorist operations to Plan B. Plan B being something we don't know about, and Plan A perhaps being something that we found out some information about.
Muhammad is now in U.S. custody, reportedly at Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. Morris?
All right, thanks, Jennifer. The war on terror is continuing on other fronts as well. Attorney General John Ashcroft revealing today that 2 Yemeni citizens have been charged with conspiring to aid al-Qaeda and other extremist groups. The two are alleged to have been bragging that they delivered more than $20 million to Osama bin Laden before the September 11th attacks. Showdown at the UN. That's what appears to be shaping up for this Friday. The reason, an important presentation by UN weapons inspectors. Russia today becoming the latest member nation to oppose military action. Friday's report sets up a very difficult scenario for the U.S. and Britain, who are expected to declare that time has run out for Iraq.
We've put down what we think to be a very reasonable resolution that concludes that Iraq is not complying with Resolution 1441 and prior disarmament resolutions. And we think that it's time for the Council to face that decision.
Late today, word was leaked the White House has not ruled out abandoning plans for a vote on a second UN resolution if defeat is expected. One woman is taking on Hollywood over how the stars portray themselves as anti-war activists in real life. Lori Bardsley of Summerfield, North Carolina, has formed a group called Citizens Against Celebrity Pundits. Her message, enough already. She's even posted an online petition asking the stars to, well, stop blowing a bunch of hot air. It will be sent to the White House as well as West Winger Martin Sheen and the ever-so-peaceful Barbara Streisand. If you'd like to sign that petition, you can click on the link at ipetitions.com, or you can also voice your opinions, either anti-war or pro-peace, at info@winwithoutwarus.org. President Bush is condemning today's terror attack at a Philippines airport. A powerful explosion today ripping through the main airport in the city of Davao. At least 19 people were killed. 100 others were injured. So far, there's been no claim of responsibility. It's a bus that some say saved the lives of American soldiers, preventing terrorists from getting their hands on high-tech military equipment. But while one man is under arrest, authorities say his partner remains on the loose. Kathleen Cairns of News Central Baltimore has exclusive pictures of the fugitive.
Enwi Eric Chang got married last spring, about the same time he and his business partner David Chu were allegedly masterminding an arms smuggling operation.
Everybody wants what we have.
Federal agents worked a year-long covert international operation to make sure this equipment did not fall into the wrong hands.
It's critical military technology.
The Taiwanese businessmen allegedly tried to buy these early warning radar system antennas, which are mounted on fighter planes, and tried to purchase night vision goggles.
That's why we attack at night, because we have the technology, they don't. They want the technology to take away our edge in the fight.
The investigation began last spring. Chang contacted Space Imaging, a Colorado company, and requested satellite images of Tehran. The company was suspicious and contacted federal agents who set up a sting operation based in Maryland. The feds even used real military defense equipment in their phony company. The negotiations took place via emails, fax, and the phone. Court documents show Eric Chang transferred $6,400 into an international bank account July 31st after meeting his Iranian contact in Singapore. Altogether, $13,000 was paid. Federal agents set up an exchange in Guam, which is where David Chu was arrested. The sensitive military equipment never reached its intended destination.
Because of these agents and their work and their undercover operation, it's not in Iran, it's right here in the U.S. District Courthouse.
Chang is still a fugitive, believed to be hiding in Taiwan. Federal agents say they're keeping a close watch on all high-tech military equipment.
We cannot allow our most sensitive military technology to be stolen and smuggled out of the United States.
In downtown Baltimore, Kathleen Cairns for News Central.
Covering news across America tonight, the House is taking up a very difficult issue. Should malpractice claims be capped by the federal government? The president is pushing a plan that would do just that, saying it will keep your doctor bills down.
If harmed by a doc, they ought to be able to recover their economic costs, economic losses. They should be able to recover non-economic damages as well. But for the sake of the system, non-economic damages should be capped at $250,000.
Doctors need to be held accountable. And the only recourse I, as a citizen, have is our jury system.
Democratic opponents say capping awards does not mean premiums will go down. Case in point, Nevada, where premiums stayed high after a state cap was imposed. Children across the western U.S. can continue reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. The Ninth Court of Appeals today issuing a stay and not ordering the pledge be banned next week as first thought. The decision grants a 90-day stay to the California School District, which is at the center of the legal battle. It's one of the most controversial topics in front of the Massachusetts Supreme Court, whether or not same-sex couples have the right to marry. Jade McCarthy of New Central Springfield has more.
Where do we go find this? Whatever this.
A packed room at the state's highest court. Gina Smith and Heidi Norton, one of 7 couples in the audience. They've been together for 13 years. If they were a man and woman, by now they'd have a common law marriage.
I asked Heidi in 1991 if she would marry me, and I'm still waiting to make good on that. She said yes.
And yes is exactly what this couple hopes the state's highest court will say, granting them the right to marry.
If people didn't have the right to marry, and people who have it right now, if it was suddenly taken away from them and they couldn't call themselves married, they would all feel like they were missing something. And that's the same thing these folks are missing right now.
For Heidi and Gina, marriage would not only mean the state recognizing their enduring commitment, but would also entitle them to all the legal benefits that go along with it.
I have all these papers just to show that we're family, you know, instead of just saying we're married.
And for this Northampton couple, it's not just their own protection, it's the protection of their 2 children.
We have to explain that there's a legal thing called a marriage, which is different from what we feel at home.
But it is the home life of children that is the very focus of the state's argument.
Well, the benefits that flow from marriage that the state has attached to marriage are because the state wants to encourage this model of marriage where there are one parent of each sex.
But these parents believe their family setting is just fine. It's just the right to a marriage certificate they want the court to award them. The Supreme Judicial Court is expected to rule on the landmark case sometime this summer. Until then, couples like Heidi Norton and Gina Smith will continue living as a family, hoping they can set a wedding date sometime in the near future.
More local news straight ahead, and then just when you thought Michael Jackson couldn't get any more bizarre, new stories emerge. We'll have that later. And how would you feel if illegal aliens were getting a college degree with your taxes? But first, the point and who gets the money.
The New York Times published a 2-page anti-war advertisement in late January for a group called Not in Our Name. The ad featured signatures from the usual celebrity whack jobs and requested donations. But here's the catch. The ad asked the contributions be sent to an organization called the Bill of Rights Foundation. The foundation is a New York-based group that has devoted nearly all of its funds to legal expenses of Mumia Abu-Jamal, who had brutally slain a Philadelphia policeman in 1981. Abu-Jamal's murder conviction has been upheld during numerous appeals. Yet the unremorseful killer has been a cause célèbre of the radical left for years. What is not known is what percentage, if any, of the contributions collected will go to Abu-Jamal's cause and what amount to the anti-war effort. Either way, we believe it is money well misspent. That's the point. Go to newscentral.tv and tell us what you think. I'm Mark Hyman.
The 10 o'clock news brought to you by Salino and Barnes.
I'm always amazed when insurance companies create monumental financial struggles for someone who has been tragically injured.
At Salino and Barnes, we are committed to fight for the victims and their families and to get the settlements they rightfully deserve.
Like the young woman who was so severely burned by an intoxicated truck driver.
Maybe it's the results achieved for our clients that has made us Western New York's largest personal injury firm.
Salino and Barnes, 454-2020.
Hear that? It's the sound of the explosive deal you can get during Time Warner Cable's Mega Movie Marathon. If you don't have cable, this is your chance to get over 200 channels of digital cable for just $39.95 a month for 3 months. Plus, get 32 premium movie channels free. 6 HBO, 9 Showtime, Stars, Encore, Cinemax, the Movie Channel, thousands of movies from the latest to the greatest, free for 3 months. It's Time Warner's Mega Movie Marathon. Call to order now, 1-800-756-7956.
What's new at your Pontiac dealer? Everything. And now get $500 auto show bonus cash on any new 2003 model Pontiac Grand Am, Grand Prix, and Aztec. Residency restrictions apply.
Visit your Rochester area Pontiac dealer today.
Hey Rochester, Ontario Mall Antiques is growing. We've added more space, we've added more dealers, and now with over 500 dealers, we're bigger and better than ever. Thanks to you, Ontario Mall Antiques is now the largest antique mall in New York State. From furniture to jewelry, we have something for everyone. Located just 2 minutes south off Thruway Exit 44 on Route 332 in Farmington. We're open 10 to 6 every day, so come see what you've been missing at Ontario Mall Antiques.
Introducing Arby's new Italian beef from provolone. Oven-roasted beef marinated in Italian seasonings. Real Italian, real good.
What are you eating today?
Today, finding a job can be challenging. And the first step in getting to work is getting to an interview.
Thanks, Phil.
Good luck. I'm Bill Nojay. As volunteer chairman of RTS, we want to make sure we're doing all we can to make your life easier. That's why we've started Jobs First. If you have an interview for a new job, we'll send you a bus pass so you can get to the interview and back home again free. Because finding a job is hard enough. Getting there shouldn't be.
This Friday,
I'm gonna help you get your wife back.
you will believe a white man
Excuse me, homeboys.
can dance. All I wanna do is the bomb. Bringing down the house with PG-13 starts Friday.
A fifth man is in custody tonight linked to a Syracuse charity the feds say was illegally sending money to Iraq. Last week, 4 men were arrested for violating economic sanctions laws by sending millions to Iraq. Now 51-year-old Ismail Diab is being questioned as a material witness but has not been charged with a crime. Diab is a naturalized citizen living in the U.S. for 16 years. Monroe County's Democratic chairwoman says your tax money is being used for political gain, and she's calling for a stop to it. Reporter Tim Cassidy joins us now with the details. Tim.
Well, Melanie, Molly Clifford claims hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars are being used to promote not just county services, but to help those who take part in the ad move up the political ladder.
Commercials you see on your TV meant to promote Rochester's bus company, Monroe County's Democratic chairwoman says, are political ads that you're paying for.
Bill Nojay is back promoting the RGRTA, the only bus service we have in the Rochester region, to the tune of $252,000 of taxpayer expense.
When it comes to growing our local economy, we see the big picture, and we'll be here to take you there.
Clifford says Nojay has aspirations to run for Congress, and this type of advertising has been done before.
It harkens back to last year when County Clerk Maggie Brooks had $100,000 of taxpayer dollars approved to spend on advertising promoting the Monroe County Clerk's office.
The RGRTA released a statement regarding the ad saying, quote, "Our advertising has enabled us to balance our budget, expand service more than 100 times, and actually cut fares for our passengers. The results of the campaign are dramatic and positive," end quote. But no mention of Nojay running for Congress.
We've done everything from putting children's books on buses and expanding service for seniors.
Spending this money in this way is pure and simple a waste.
And the chairwoman is asking the public to call and complain in hopes of ending what she calls a waste of taxpayer money.
In the face of national, state, and county budget crises, this kind of pure posturing for political gain must end.
Now, Molly Clifford says $1 million of taxpayer money has been used to promote Republicans Jack Doyle, Maggie Brooks, and Sheriff Patrick O'Flynn. We called Republican headquarters for a response to this, but Chairman Steve Minerick was unable to return our calls. Melanie?
All right, thank you, Tim. Some Rochester City school teachers were more like students today. Nearly 100 math teachers are learning how to reach kids on their level and get them to achieve more than just state standards. Today's conference also included ideas for a more hands-on approach in the classroom.
To come up with and encourage a variety of problem-solving strategies and then share those with each other so students are doing presentations and actually teaching other students how to solve problems.
Teachers were also introduced to new web-based resources to help them out in the classroom. Coming up, the lunch line today led right to a limo. We'll follow some students on their luxury lunch.
The 10 o'clock news brought to you by Bob Evans.
There's a place that I travel when I want to roam, and nobody knows it but me. The roads don't go there, and the signs stay home, and nobody knows it but me. It's far, far away, and way, way afar. It's over the moon and the sea. And wherever you're going, that's wherever you are. And nobody knows it but me. The powerful Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
Welcome back, 340 horsepower. Say hello to modern technology. The new Infiniti M45. The muscle car with brains.
Feel the fun with Instant Connections. Get a great deal from Roadrunner and Time Warner Digital Cable. More choices, more channels in digital picture and sound. You're always connected with Roadrunner.
Get digital cable, HBO, and Cinemax at 50% off for 3 months. Plus get Roadrunner for $29.95 a month for 6 months. Call 1-800-756-7956 today.
Instant happiness. Time Warner Cable. Now anything's possible.
Where can you experience Casino Niagara? Always a rush.
Everyone, temperature right now still hanging above that freezing mark at 34 degrees. That humidity is 73%. Winds out of the north at 8, and the pressure's rising at 29.87 inches. Now, for the most part throughout the day, we've seen mostly cloudy skies with the occasional snow shower filtering through the Rochester metro area, but it looks like those heavier snows have stayed well to the north of us. That does not mean we're in the clear. In fact, we're going to see quite the mixed bag of precipitation moving our way later tonight. We're under a winter weather advisory starting late tonight, lasting through the day on Wednesday. Now, most of you may be thinking about getting those shovels ready to clean up all the snow off those driveways. Unfortunately, we'll see more than just snow from this system. We'll see the precip start after midnight tonight. It'll start as freezing rain with temperatures right around that freezing point. And then we'll see the rain change to snow Wednesday morning and a possible only 1 to 2 inches of snow accumulation. But that means that those roadways could get very icy as well as that freezing rain and rain starts to freeze over on the roadway. So certainly a day to be careful. And all this precipitation coming from the system you see right around the Chicagoland area right now, that's going to continue pushing towards Rochester. As it does so, the low pressure is actually going to filter north of us. So that rain-snow boundary is going to be right in the Rochester area. That's why we expect to see quite the mixed bag of precipitation again. As this low continues to track our way, it's going to really pull some moisture up with it, folks. And we will see that low as it begins to pass through the area. That's when we'll see that rain change over to snow again early Wednesday morning, but certainly a possibility for icing on some of those roadways as well. And here's take a look at what's going to happen here. We're getting the warmer air coming up from the south, the colder air keeping the snow to the north of us, the mix right in the Rochester area, and rain just to the south. So some of the areas in the Finger Lakes may see just rain from this system, but it looks like we're going to pick up at least 1 to 2 inches of snow accumulation here in Rochester. 32 degrees for tonight, right on the border of freezing. That's why we can be quite concerned about some of those roadways freezing over. Certainly a day to be very careful. Down towards northern Livingston County, about 33 degrees, over towards Medina and Batavia, around 31. Now we're going to see those temperatures dropping off as soon as morning comes tomorrow, and that's when we'll see that rain change over to snow, probably mid-morning tomorrow. High temperature, 28 degrees in Rochester, 29 down towards northern Livingston County, and about 28 degrees towards Medina. So we are certainly going to see a drop-off in temperatures, but again, nothing compared to what we saw yesterday. Now for tonight, 32 degrees, we'll see rain changing to freezing rain. This will occur after midnight, winds out of the south at 10. As that low-pressure system starts to track towards the area, freezing rain will change to snow throughout the day, mainly in the morning hours. A high of 28 degrees. We'll see 1 to 2 inches snow accumulation by tomorrow evening. Those winds out of the northwest between 10 to 20 miles an hour. Here's what we're looking at for the next 7 days. Looks like a chance for snow almost every day. Back to you.
Thanks, Megan. Well, yesterday, buses didn't go to some city schools because of the cold. Today, there weren't just buses, there were limos. Good News Rochester tonight features a luxury lunch. The top sellers at school number 34 were taken to lunch by limo today. They raised the most money in a Valentine's Day gift sale.
And it's nice to follow through with it at the end where they really do get the limo, because when I first mentioned it, they're in disbelief that it's going to happen. So then when they do hit the mark and they sell, it's just nice to do it, and they love it.
Not a bad deal. If you think you'd like to watch your kids get a limo ride to school, they could try a similar fundraiser. Check out America's Lemonade Stand online. It's at our Fox On site, sponsored by Roadrunner. Just go to foxrochester.com. We have sports coming up. St. Bonaventure won't be playing its final 2 games of the season. Find out why. And some great SU highlights later tonight.
The 10 o'clock news brought to you by Salino and Barnes.
If you've been injured in an automobile accident, talk with Salino and Barnes.
One of the things that I most enjoy about being a lawyer is helping clients in their time of need, fighting to ensure that they receive the compensation they rightfully deserve.
For us, it's about fairness. It's about justice. Although nobody can make up for your loss and suffering, our courtroom successes are proof that we go the extra mile to obtain the largest possible settlement.
Salino and Barnes, 454-2020.
Well, I was born in a small town, learned to live in a small town. You took me on. Kind of music just soothes my soul.
Live it.
About the days of old.
Love it. The best of the 70s and 80s. 98.9 The Buzz.
I want to tell you a story of 2 brand new houses. Both are exactly the same size, but this one uses 30% less energy because it's built to the Energy Star guidelines for new home construction. That means 30% less in energy costs every year you own the home. Just call this number and we'll send you a free video on how to construct to the Energy Star guidelines. Or you can simply look for a new house with the Energy Star symbol on the for sale sign. Without it, you're wasting your energy.
I heard tires squealing, and all of a sudden, boom, and I got hit.
Hurt in a car wreck? Call us, and we'll take care of everything.
He handled everything perfectly. He's really good.
Good things happen the minute you call 800-WUHF-1333.
My settlement was several times what my insurance company had promised me.
Hurt? Call us. We're Alexander and Catalano.
Once you've been through an experience like this, the only thing you can say comes from the heart.
A tragic end tonight in the search for a missing California woman.
The body of Christine Johnson was found last night in the Hollywood Hills. Johnson disappeared after saying she was going to meet a photographer who hinted she might get a movie role. So far, police say there are only a few suspects, and one of them may be in custody on another charge. Just because you're a celebrity, does that mean you get immunity from the law? Robert Blake may have thought so. A stuntman testifying in Blake's pretrial murder hearing said today that Blake told him he wasn't worried about police questions because he was an actor. And you just can't make this stuff up. The king of pop wears a prosthetic nose, and Michael Jackson also paid $150,000 to put a voodoo curse on Steven Spielberg. No, it's not the latest tabloid headline, but next week's edition of Vanity Fair. Apparently, 42 cows were sacrificed for the ceremony. And as part of the ritual, Wacko Jacko was bathed in blood. Without his prosthetic nose, sources say Jackson looks like a mummy with 2 holes above his lips. 2 more juicy tidbits. Jackson wears a wig and bleaches his skin white. And according to the magazine, Michael is $240 million in debt. The new Vanity Fair hits the stands on March 11th. For women looking to buy a sexy nightgown, where would you go? Victoria's Secret, a name we all know and trust, or a place called Victor's Little Secret? Well, you'd probably go with Victoria. The Supreme Court agrees, but in doing so, ruled against Victoria's Secret in a trademark case. Since everybody knows that name, the court says Victor's Little Secret didn't harm the big company's reputation, even though it's a sex shop in Kentucky. It's hard enough putting your own kid through college, but believe it or not, some Maryland lawmakers want to help illegal aliens get a break on tuition. John Rydell of News Central Baltimore explains.
On many college campuses, tuition is on the rise. At the University of Maryland, in-state students now pay $4,800 a year. But for out-of-state students, it's $14,000. And that's how much illegal aliens must pay to enroll in local colleges and universities. But a bill before the Maryland General Assembly would give undocumented immigrants a huge break. They would be classified as in-state students, a savings of $9,200 a year.
We see this as a fairness operation. The children are sort of liable for the sins of their parents to be, it isn't their fault.
But the University System of Maryland estimates that only about 30 students per graduating class would benefit from such a program.
I don't think fiscally it's an issue. It's really an issue of whether illegal aliens are considered to be taxpayers in the state.
This bill would also require illegal aliens who pay in-state tuition to formally apply to become permanent citizens within 30 days. But here's the catch. It's a process that can often take months, if not years. Critics also say it sends the wrong message to students who are already U.S. citizens.
What we'd be doing is we'd be subsidizing illegal activity. I mean, the fact is, you're called an illegal because you've broken the law to do it.
But supporters believe it would at least give more young people the opportunity for a better life. In College Park, I'm John Rydell for News Central.
With some of Hollywood's biggest stars speaking out against a war with Iraq, it would be rather ironic if the Academy Awards show were canceled because of it. The Oscar extravaganza is March 23rd, and military planners are expected to award Saddam their own statues that look like missiles around the same time or sooner. The ceremonies have never been postponed because of war, but Hollywood planners are facing the what-if dilemma like the rest of the country. Changing gears now, let's talk about Madonna. She's done music, film, a sex book. What's left? Well, Penguin Publishers is signing Madonna to write 5 children's books, and they'll be stories with a moral. Like the hit Harry Potter series, which follows the fortunes of a boy wizard, Penguin hopes Madonna's new books will also appeal to adults. And they'll go well on your coffee table next to her sex book and Truth or Dare video. And while airport security is checking for shoe bombs and knives, a live scorpion managed to slip by agents. And the deadly arachnid stung a 70-year-old passenger on a Mexican Airlines flight bound for Chicago. The man was treated and released, the scorpion subdued. Al-Qaeda is not taking credit, but probably taking notes. And that's Get This. I'm Morris Jones.
And I am Jonas Schwartz. No scorpions on tap in sports, but 2 of the NBA's best battle it out. And Pete Rose is getting closer to a return to baseball. It's all coming up in Sports Central. But first, your local sports after the break.
If someone in your family has been seriously injured, talk with Celino and Barnes.
When we visit with a client at the hospital, we're often overcome by the seriousness of the accident, the injuries, the extreme hardship.
Maybe that's why at Salino and Barnes, we've been so successful. We care enough to fight for our clients. We represent severely injured people, and we are determined to achieve the highest possible settlement.
Salino and Barnes, 454-2020.
If you could have a voice-activated satellite-linked navigation system, surrounded by a spacious leather-trimmed interior, where you can stretch out and enjoy a dual-zone automatic climate control system, and appreciate the acceleration of a 240-horsepower V6 engine, and if you could have it all in a Honda Accord, why wouldn't you? The all-new 2003 Accord EX V6 from Honda.
Today, finding a job can be challenging, and the first step in getting to work is getting to an interview. Thanks, Bill. Good luck. I'm Bill Nojay. As volunteer chairman of RTS, we want to make sure we're doing all we can to make your life easier. That's why we've started Jobs First. If you have an interview for a new job, we'll send you a bus pass so you can get to the interview and back home again free. Because finding a job is hard enough. Getting there shouldn't be.
Wouldn't a pizza be great right now? One with a stuffed crust, 100% cheddar added to the outer crust, and toasted to a golden cheddar crunch. That's not just any pizza. It's the new Stuffed Crust Gold from Pizza Hut. And yes, it would be great right now. Fox Rochester wants to give you and your friends a pizza party featuring the new Stuffed Crust Gold from Pizza Hut. Visit foxrochester.com. Sign up and you might be chowing down soon. Yeah.
In sports, the St. Bonaventure basketball team is walking away from its final 2 games of the season. One day after the Bonnies forfeited 6 victories due to an ineligible player on the roster, the team voted not to play Wednesday at UMass or Saturday against Dayton. The Atlantic 10 Conference is not happy. The A10 will meet next month to discuss the school's decision. You'll pay more to park next time you head to a Red Wings game. The team and the Sports Authority finally reached a compromise on parking fees at Frontier Field. Instead of rising from $4 to $6, parking for Wings games will be $5 this season. Discounts are available for fans who buy multi-game packages. On the ice tonight, the Buffalo Sabres were home to take on Washington. Buffalo loses 2-1 to the Capitals. Checking high school girls basketball, a pair of state qualifiers played at Finger Lakes Community College in Class D. Batavia Notre Dame defeated Prattsburg. A few more scores for you, but now we need to head over to Sports Central.
Hi everyone, Jonas back with you at Sports Central. Now growing up, I was the most dominating player in my Temple League. Basically, you could say I was the Shaq of the synagogues. But in the higher level of school ball, I couldn't hang. The New Jersey Nets are similar. They are one of the best teams in the weaker Eastern Conference, but they have trouble hanging with the Western powers, like the Dallas Mavericks. The Nets in Dallas tonight to play the Mavs. Dirk Nowitzki going to the hoop and throwing it down. Great move, Mavs up 4. Kenyon Martin answers with a dunk of his own. The Nets keep coming. Jason Kidd showing the quick release on the three-pointer. Nets just down 1. Stays close through the 4th quarter, but Dirk Nowitzki comes up big again, hitting a clutch three-pointer to cap off a 7-0 run, and the Mavericks beat the Nets 88-79. The Pistons trying to break their 7-game losing streak against Yao Ming and the Rockets, and Yao thrilling his many fans with a nice move around Ben Wallace, and he dunks it home. Very nice move. But then the Pistons take over. Richard Hamilton getting the job done. He knocks it down from beyond the arc and finishes with a game-high 26. Everything going the Pistons' way. Cliff Robinson beats the shot clock with this 3, and the Pistons snap their losing streak. They get past Houston 94-81. You know, I'm told the kids think it's cool to be known as a dog, like, what up, dog? But right now, nobody wants to be known as a bulldog, not even in Georgia, where the Bulldogs basketball team is under fire for alleged academic fraud and illegal payments to a player. Jim Harrick, his team, and the fans trying to block all of that out as they take on 3rd-ranked Florida. Rashad Wright doing the job in transition. He will finish with a big-time slam. Brett Nelson answers with a highlight film pass. Watch this. Goes baseline and then behind the back to Matt Bonner, who will finish with the nice little layup. But Georgia looks inspired. Off the steal, Jarvis Hayes He'll dunk this one, but Florida still up 71-68 with less than 4 minutes to go. The Irish fans fired up as 12th-ranked Syracuse visits number 16 Notre Dame. Jerry McNamara with great hustle to get the loose ball. Hakeem Warwick finishing the alley-oop. Great play, Cuse up 10. Notre Dame storms back, 2 minutes left. Matt Carroll from downtown. That ties the game at 86. But basketball is about star players, and the Orangemen have one in Carmelo Anthony. He gets the huge putback here. Anthony scores 21 on the night, and Jim Boeheim's guys with a great 92-88 road win. Well, even though he still appears to be gambling, it looks like Pete Rose is going to Charlie Hustle his way back into baseball. So reports the New York Daily News, citing 2 anonymous high-ranking Major League Baseball officials. The officials claim Rose will meet with Major League Baseball CEO Bob Dupuis before the end of spring training to discuss the conditions of his return to the game. Now, if that meeting goes well, Rose will then see Commissioner Bud Selig. This coming even with recent news of Pete's continuing tax and gambling problems. Florida State says former quarterback Adrian McPherson bet on Seminole games, including the 4 he started. This all coming out today as the signal caller was charged with a misdemeanor count of gambling. McPherson was thrown off the team in November for his involvement in stealing a blank check. Well, the oldest receiving duo in the NFL will stay together. The Raiders re-signing both Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. The 40-year-old Rice getting a 6-year, $30 million extension. He is coming off an outstanding 92-catch season where he racked up over 1,200 yards. Terms were not released about Brown's deal, the 36-year-old star, coming up another effective year with 81 receptions. With hockey teams now in Tampa and North Carolina, you wouldn't even realize it's a Canadian sport unless you look at the Northeast Division, where Ottawa and Toronto are first and second in the standings. These teams, of course, always friendly. Ty Domi, getting old. He gets knocked down. You got to be kidding me. What's going on with Ty? Well, the Senators continue to look good. Mike Wilson on the rebound beats Ed Belfour. They're up 2-1, and they add to their lead. Karek Rakunik from the high slot, power play goal, and then things get absolutely chippy. Darcy Tucker, really always known for his sportsmanship, he takes a run at the Senators bench. You got to be kidding me. Of course, a very nice brawl breaks out, but after everything settles down, the Senators come away with an impressive, very impressive 4-1 win. Well, that'll do it for sports. More news coming up after the break.
Journey back to a magical time.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that cough.
An era when miracles
relax, baby,
were around every corner.
Oh, yeah. Just let them breathe.
This was a time of joy.
Soon, a regulated monthly bleeding called menstruation will begin.
This was the time of Oliver Bean.
Premieres Sunday at 8:30 on Fox Rochester.
Renovations, installations, plumbing, kitchens and bath. Think D'Angelo's. D'Angelo's specializes in creative design ideas, expert plumbing service, and complete installation for your kitchen and bath. We realize people have different styles and different needs. That's why we take the time to create a room that is right for you. Visit our showroom with over 50 models of award-winning kitchen and bath designs, elegant bathrooms, and beautiful kitchens by D'Angelo's, North Union Street, Spencerport. Limited only by your imagination. D'Angelo's.
Only Tim Hortons Coffee lets you play Roll Up the Rim to win. Fun to say, but why the rolling R's?
This new contest is called Roll Up the Rim to Win.
Not so fast. There's not enough R's in there. It's Roll Up the Rim to Win. Okay.
It's as fun to say as it is to play. Roll up the rim to win at Tim Hortons with 30 Buick Rendezvous, 100 Panasonic DVD theaters, $500,000 in cash prizes, Raleigh mountain bikes, and millions of food prizes. So get rolling.
We're talking with Bob Barefoot, author of Death by Diet and the Calcium Factor. Is everyone calcium deficient?
By the time the average American's 35, he has more calcium going out of his body and into the body, and that's when it starts. By the time he's 60, about 98% are totally calcium deficient. The real key with calcium is it does not want to absorb in the human body. But you know, there is a substance out there where you get 100% absorption. And America hasn't heard about oral calcium. You just can't believe the miracle of calcium because you're a calcium critter. You're more calcium in your body than all the other minerals put together.
What is a good form of calcium?
We say, do what the Okinawans are doing. They're getting 100%, and we see with just 3 little capsules a day, absolutely miraculous.
You think that's one of the
results.
best forms of calcium to consume?
It's the best absorbable. You not only get the calcium, magnesium, and 70 other trace metals, you get marine microbes. Coral calcium will become the nutrient of the 21st century, I guarantee you.
Call the number on that screen. This is important for your health.
Hey, get down here fast. They got the silver one. Okay, bye.
Claim your Volkswagen. With offers this good, they won't be around forever.
Now let's take another look at the stories that made headlines today. 5 people are dead after an apartment building fire in Seneca Falls. The fire took the lives of a retired couple, a young couple, and their infant daughter. There's no word yet on what started it. The trial of an accused internet predator began today with James Comfort's attorney attempting to discredit his alleged victims. They claim the underage girls delayed telling the police about any crimes for months. Comfort is accused of raping and sexually assaulting several young women he met over the internet. Monroe County Democrats say ads being aired by the Regional Transit Authority aren't for the bus company at all, but are disguised political ads for Chairman Bill Nojay. They say Nojay has aspirations to run for Congress. That's wrong because taxpayer money is being used to pay for them. The Transit Authority says the ads have helped it balance its budget, expand service, and cut fares.
Good evening, everyone. Here's a recap of what to expect tomorrow. A high of 28 degrees. We'll see that freezing rain changing to snow in the morning hours as those temperatures continue to drop throughout the day. We could pick up 1 to 2 inches of snow accumulation. Not looking at anything significant, but enough to coat those roadways. So Wednesday, we're looking at a mix of precipitation. For Thursday, a high of 22. Looks like those temperatures will start to warm up throughout the week and a chance for rain on Tuesday. Back to you, Melanie.
Thanks, Megan. Now here's a look at some of the stories we're working on for tomorrow's 10 o'clock news. We'll have more details on a fatal fire that took the lives of 2 families in Seneca Falls. Plus, if you've been looking to drop a few pounds, the American Cancer Society wants you on the scale. Join us for that and much more tomorrow on the 10 o'clock news. Finally, tonight, there's a lot of jumping around going on at French Road Elementary School, and they're hoping to break a record. 5th grade students are jumping rope while raising money for the American Heart Association. They're jumping in shifts for at least 3 hours after school. Now, at least 600 students will jump rope this week, and they've got some pretty good motivation.
We're the top fundraising school in the country for the past 4 years and hoping to be for the 5th year in a row this year. Last year we raised over $76,000 for the American Heart Association, and we're looking to try to beat that this year if possible. We'll see how it goes.
Some good exercise. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow for the 10 o'clock news.